Welcome to this presentation of your Highland Hawks football. Tonight, we play 15th ranked Castile High School here tonight. Highland coming off a win against Saguaro. Welcome back. Jacob Fredericks, my side commentator. Jacob, what is the key to this matchup tonight?
It's the quarterback play. Highland, obviously, with a new quarterback in there. And they've had some struggles at quarterback, whether it was Rylan Reyes. Luke Young has been injured all year. He is back in the lineup tonight. We'll see him in a few snaps. But it is the quarterback play, and it's the defense for Highland. It's been the defense for Highland for the last 5 years under Brock Farrell. They obviously had a rough start to the season. And finally last week, able to get a win 34-28 against Saguaro. This Highland team trying to turn their season around. The playoffs are absolutely still in look. If Highland's offense can get it figured out, this is absolutely a playoff team that can compete for the 6A title.
I absolutely agree here. Highland coming off a large win against Saguaro. Definitely a momentum shift here with Peyton Cash Dahlhog here starting tonight. 6'5", 205 pounds. The junior, the taller quarterback. From what I've heard from the team is that he can be very versatile. So I think running is something that he can do. But we were watching him at practice before the game, and he looked to have an arm here, and we're excited to present that to you tonight as Highland is getting ready to go here against another larger test here against Castile. Saguaro being one of their moderate tests here, and I would say that this is another one of those moderate tests here tonight. Highland, easy strength of schedule here as Highland gets set to kick off here in a second. As Jacob, what are you thinking about this game overall?
I mean, this is a rematch of last year's 6A quarterfinals as the Hawks lost to Castile up 24-0 at halftime. Somehow Castile comes back, beats Highland at the nest, and Highland looking to redeem themselves a little bit tonight and keep themselves in that contention to possibly go win a 6A title. I'm excited, you're excited. We're about ready to kick off here in Queen Creek, Arizona. As the Hawks will kick off to start this game. Castile set to receive. Obviously, Castile last year, it was really their defense in that second half of that playoff game. Can Highland's offense match that this game? And obviously, can Highland's defense keep that elite play that they've had for the last 5 years under Brock Farrell? As Crandall set to kick it away. And will kick it deep, which will be received by Castile at the 1 yard line. Turns left, makes one man miss, and he's got some blockers. Tripped up all the way to the 32 yard line. Great return for Castile, as that's where they will start off their first drive.
Yeah, that was a very lucky trip to start out here. It had a lot of room to run, as Castile may have been taking a shot at the end zone there on the kickoff had Highland not made that tackle there. Touchdown saving tackle here to start the game. But I do want to mention the defensive play here from the Highland defense, primarily passing last week with Saguaro split quarterback last week, but they allowed 2 interceptions to Ashton Panel, so they showed that they can be turnover worthy. As Castile,
as on first down at the Castile 31 yard line, takes a snap and will make one man miss, but cannot get away from the second one.
Yeah, Grady Crandall has obviously been that star player for this Highland defense here this season. He was last year as well, but I do want to mention he was the first to get there on this play. He just is super versatile as Highland gets back on set.
As on 2nd and 8, takes that throws outside and completes for about 9 yards, and it looks like he may have the first down. They will move the chains for Castile. First down, Colts.
Yeah, I've seen Highland throw a lot of zone coverage out there. They've ran 3 safety sets a lot this year. As Castile is running hurry-up offense here to start the game.
As Smith takes the first down snap, rolls out to those left, throws a deep ball over the middle, and it is overthrown. Incomplete. Great coverage on the play from Highland. That one is intended for number 85, Michael Grella on the receiving end, but it was not able to come up with the catch. Highland had double coverage on him, and it was a little bit of a far throw.
I think Castile was trying to nitpick the Highland zone defense by just covering over the top here to get aggressive to start the game, but it just doesn't work out there.
And on second down, Smith takes a step, play action, fakes a throw, and he's going to run. but will not get away from the Highland D-line. Gets about 3 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long early in the game for Castile.
Yeah, big 3rd and long here. I feel like Grady Crandall again on the tackle there just kind of is everywhere. The quarterback just kind of in his senses. He had an open pocket and had room to run, but Grady Crandall just fills that hole playing as a linebacker right away. He can play so many defensive positions, and I feel like over the last couple of games he has really, really put that to the test here, and he's going to be noticed here by scouts in Arizona.
I mean, yeah, Crandall's obviously a star player for the Hawks, as he's made an impact on the offensive end, the special teams, and the defense. As on 3rd down, Smith passes out to the right, complete, as his helmet comes off, and that will blow the play dead, but there is a flag on the play, and it looks like that may be a penalty on the Hawks that will extend this Colts drive.
Yeah, just unfortunate break for Highland. I feel like penalties have really, really shrugged up against them over the last, really the start of the season. I feel like that was a problem against Hagley. I thought that was even a problem in the win last week against Saguaro. But I do want to mention that T. Smith is in at quarterback for Castile. He's a junior. So just inexperienced, but kind of looks comfortable in that pocket. I feel like Highland has really given him some pressure here to start out the game. And, he had an overthrow earlier to start out the game, but I feel like he's just looked comfortable in the pocket, and I think, Highland may have to abandon zone coverage later in the game.
Yeah, as Castile, as they're still debating on what the flag actually is.
Maybe they're
so we wait a moment for the penalty.
As
it is personal foul on the Hawks. It is a face mask, and Castile will have the ball on the Hawks 31 early in this game. And this is something we saw from Highland against Liberty a couple weeks ago, in which they start off slow defensively, and it really doesn't give them much of a chance. The Hawks might need to get a stop here, hold them to 3, as Smith on 1st and 10 from the Hawks 31. As he takes a snap, fakes the handoff, will run to his left, makes Peel miss, and Smith has some room and will get about 5 yards.
Yeah, I feel like Smith took a big hit there. I believe that was from Dominic Quat here. I think he's looked super comfortable, especially for a junior. He's just looked super, super comfortable. Like, that was a pretty good move against 2 Highland defenders that were ready to get him. And I feel like Castile's play calling has been superb so far.
As on 2nd and 4 from the Hawks 25, Smith takes the snap from the pistol on the play action, hesitates, and Jackson Peel is all over him, but there is another flag on the field, as that is looks like it's going to be another face mask, and Castile with yet another 1st down off a penalty for the Hawks.
Yeah, Jackson Peel, great job of getting there quick, but just a pretty blatant face mask there. The entire crowd kind of saw that. So I think a message here in this first drive is helmet control into the head area on tackling here, as that has cost him 30 yards on this drive here, and a pretty important first drive.
Yeah, as it will be now 1st and 10 from the 12 for Castile. And Castile's had about 30 yards on this drive just off penalties. Castile hasn't done anything super special in this drive. They picked up 1 first down on 3rd down. But other than that, it's been the game of penalties so far in this drive, as Smith has seemed to be eluding those Hawks defenders enough to draw some penalties. As on 1st and 10 from the 12, Smith will just take the direct snap and will run into the Hawks defense at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, a good stop at the Highland defensive line, but I feel like this is something we're going to see a lot from Castile tonight. It's just kind of direct snaps into certain directions. I think T. Smith can really just kind of find that hole. It honestly depends on just what the offensive line gives them tonight. And I think the most important job here for any side of the ball here for Highland tonight is that defensive line, and to really just try to contain T. Smith to a certain element.
Yeah, on 2nd and 8 from the 11, Smith will take the snap, throws to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Castile.
Yeah, I just feel like in zone coverage, you will find someone that is going to be open, and especially on a slant route like that to Eric Avila, the senior. You're going to find those holes, especially in a 3-safety set where it's like just primarily zone for every play that we've seen from this drive. I think Highland just kind of needs to play more aggressively. I think that's kind of been a war cry over the last couple weeks here from Coach Rudder and that defense. So I think just in-game adjustments here.
What a start from the Castile offense. So that RPO seems to be working just great, and the Hawks wasn't able to touch it as the extra point is good. Castile takes an early lead over the Hawks, 7-0.
Yeah, a big exclamation point on what this new quarterback play could do for this Highland offense. Felt like last week they played pretty good with Luka Kotrodamus, but I think this offense was really good running the ball with Cayman Molinol last week going off here last week. 21 carries, 125 yards, and a score. Cruz Coolmore had a 55-yard touchdown last week, which was pivotal in the win against Saguaro last week, and he also had a 50-yard run that was called back because of holding. So this running back play has been very good, even in losing efforts. I feel as if this three running backfield has been very, very present. And I think this offense can really get it together if they can be complete in the quarterback play.
As Anthony Martin is set to receive the kickoff from Castile. Trailing 7-0, the Hawks with that new look offense with Peyton Dahlhog at quarterback coming in. But Castile set to kick off. It's a little bit of a slow-paced start here with these AIA referees as the kick is underway. And will be into the end zone for a touchback, and the Hawks will start at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Peyton Cash, Dahlhog, making his first start of the year. A much-anticipated quarterback change here for this Highland offense. We'll see if that really completes this offense, as it's primarily known in Arizona right now that Highland can still make a playoff run. But we'll see if the quarterback play can really feed off that running back play too, as Cruz Colmore is out there right now. We've seen a lot of jet sweep action from him.
Yeah, and that's going to help that Hawks defense, especially after you saw that first drive. Castile's playing a little bit more of a fast-paced offense, and if the Hawks defense is going to get some rest, they're going to need, as it seems to be some confusion, already a penalty on the Hawks, a very pre-snap penalty. Coach Farrell is furious as a pre-snap penalty before their first play from scrimmage. A little bit of a miscommunication.
I feel like that's been the story for Highland to start out this year. Just kind of sloppy penalties from both the play calling and just kind of the players as well.
Yeah, as Dahlhog on 1st and 10, fakes the handoff, will throw it deep to Anthony Martin. He's open, but cannot make the catch, laying out, incomplete. Highland taking a shot on that first play, and that's a very different start that you've seen in a lot of these games. The Hawks' first shot they've taken all year on offense.
And that was a good throw, too. Anthony Martin just got tripped up. Good defense by DeAndre Taylor. But Anthony Martin had room there. He just kind of got tripped up. So I believe that was a well-executed play. Just kind of didn't finish the job there. But that's a really good start for me, at least.
As on 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 15, Dahlhog will check the play, as the Hawks don't seem to like what they see at the line of scrimmage. Dahlhog under center with Molyneux to his left. With Cruz Colomar in motion, will hand to Colomar, and he will not get anywhere. Castile's defense all over it, and the Hawks are once again, as we've kind of seen all season, in 3rd and long.
I feel like Castile had to have seen Cruz Colomar jet sweep all over their film last week. I feel like Cruz Colmore jet sweeps have been very, very common, almost on every play, even if it's in motion. So as they take him out of the game, obviously that won't happen on this play, but Castile has had to have seen that on film. So I think maybe Farrell's strategy here is to readjust a different strategy with his jet sweeps.
As on 3rd and 15, Dahlhog will try to get his first conversion on 3rd down. As Dahlhog takes a snap, looks to his left, will complete the pass over to Max Brown, but will not be enough for a first down, and the Hawks will be forced to punt with one of the best punters in Arizona high school football, in Grady Crandall. We talked about him on defense. He makes an impact on special teams as well. He, unfortunately for the Hawks, has been on the field quite a bit this season, but when he's on the field, he's done a great job and will punt away on the Hawks' first drive. Hawks come up empty.
Yeah, I feel like Grady Crandall could really do everything, but I do want to mention Max Brown on the catch there. I've been excited for Max Brown's play here this season, but quarterback play has kind of limited that, so we'll see what he can do with the new quarterback.
As the punt from Crandall is a low line driver, which will be received, and it will be lateraled over as Castile has some running room. There he goes, all the way to the 20-yard line.
And they're gonna get him on the return. He pushed him after the play.
That is Troy Howdigi.
Way after the play, so Castile will go 15 yards back on those.
And an unsportsmanlike conduct on Castile will likely push him back 15 yards. But what a trick play to start off this game for Castile. Really having the Hawks on their toes so far.
Yeah, I think especially in the NFL, we've seen that special teams definitely matters. This year, I think special teams is much more relevant than we realize, and I think seeing Highland, there's not much you can do about that type of play except have more people over there. So just kind of being prepared as a special teams coordinator.
Yeah, Castile looking to get their athletic guys like Troy Howdigi out in space, and the Hawks are going to have a rough time dealing with that. That's what seems to be this Castile team, a very athletic team, a team that likes to move quickly, and the Hawks seem to be struggling with it early on in this game.
Yeah, this Highland defense right now, I think, just kind of needs to remain at least zoned back a little bit, but I also do think we need to send a lot of people on the line like they are here.
As Hawks showing blitz on 1st and 10, T. Smith takes the snap, will go over to his left, quick throw, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted.
Yeah, I feel like last week even Highland just wasn't able to protect the outside edge on quarterback passes, which allowed for just a bunch of easy dump-offs to be made. And I think this week that narrative has changed, and I think Rudder is encouraging his defense to really kind of slant right there and kind of protect that area, and that's a good job there on defense.
As the Hawks once again showing blitz, T. Smith takes a snap, a quick swing pass, and it is blown up. Grady Crandall in the backfield right away, and the Colts have 3rd and long.
Yeah, that was a hit to the knee. I thought that may have been a little bit dangerous there on the low hit there. But what a tackle there by Grady Crandall. He just seems to be everywhere, and we're going to mention this all night, that Grady Crandall is such a special talent for this Highland team. And if they go to the playoffs this year, it's a big part is going to be him.
As now 3rd and 12 for the Castile Colts at the 46-yard line, as T. Smith will check the play, not seeming to like what he likes at the line of scrimmage. But the Hawks defense, we talked about it. Grady Crandall's all over the place all the time. You're going to see that. You're going to hear his name called a lot tonight, as the Hawks will once again show blitz, clearly wanting to get to T. Smith, as Castile will call their first timeout. Highland showing once again that this defense can stretch the team out, and even maybe the crowd noise from the away side here helping, because maybe not being able to hear their calls as the Colts call their first timeout.
This Highland team has looked pretty good to me. I know we're losing, but I think this Highland team has looked poised. They look more comfortable. Peyton has looked really good in the pocket. He already has a deep shot to Anthony Martin, which just wasn't executed because of a tripped-up effort by Anthony Martin. But I think this Highland team, it looks better. It looks more kind of just confined and like all together. This team, I think, has a bright ending here. And I would not rule out any momentum shift yet here, as Highland's defense will look to get a stop here.
As early on in this first quarter, 5:51 to go, 7-0 Castile. Castile having the ball on the Highland 47 here after a big punt return, as T. Smith will line up on 3rd and 12, take the snap, fake the quick pass, throws it over the middle, and it will be caught and has a blocker and will be just short of the first down, I believe, or he will pick up the first down as Castile converts on 3rd and long.
Yeah,
great play design there from Castile.
Yeah, Colton Winters on the block there. That was a really good block. I think Jackson Peel was a bit blindsided by that and took a big hit on that block there, but well executed as they do get the first down, actually.
As the pass complete to Grella with his second big catch of the game, his second catch on 3rd down to convert, as Castile has 1st and 10 from the 23. As Smith lines up in the shotgun once again, will take the snap, will hand it off this time, and the Hawks defense is all over it. That's Jackson Crawford, one of the Hawks captains in the backfield. making the play, and it'll be 2nd and 12 now.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Jackson Crawford this year, just kind of on the interior, and I think he's done a pretty solid job on the defensive line. I think he's been a help more than a hurt for this defense, and he's kind of really helped this defensive line look pretty put together here so far.
As on 2nd and 12 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, Smith takes the snap, will fake the handoff, will keep it himself, and will not get much further. We'll get back probably to the original line of scrimmage, and will probably bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I think the second wave of defenders has done a really good job here so far. I think Highland runs like a 3-layer set on defense, and I think the linebackers have done their part in really containing T. Smith, which has allowed him to be forced to throw the ball more often and more deeper. I think the primary job here right now is for the safeties to step up.
And Castilla, 3rd and 9 from the Hawks 22. Big 3rd down play once again for the Hawks. Castilla 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far. Smith throws over the middle, and it is intercepted. It's intercepted. That's Cole Allen on the play as the Hawks get a big takeaway early in this game, keeping Castilla off the board and giving the offense a shot once again.
What did I tell you guys about the second wave of defenders so far? They have looked very solid here. Cole Allen with the interception. They have really cemented themselves on that part of the field, and I think T. Smith was trying to look for that outside option, something that Highland's defense has struggled with all year long, and now Highland capitalizes on that outside pass, and now we get to see Highland's new organized offense here back on the field. What an exciting play.
As Dahlhog will take a snap, sends Anthony Martin in motion, throw a quick out to Martin, and it will be caught for a gain of about 5.
Call them the wide receiver duo, Max Brown and Anthony Martin. I think that is the primary 2 receivers we'll be seeing, and we could see some reprice here filled in between as he is out on the field right now. But I think Anthony Martin and Max Brown are 2 very valuable outside threats, and Martin, known for his speed, can really, really track the ball. So we'll see if they can get a deep connection here tonight.
As we talk about momentum, I mean, you hear the momentum in this Highland crowd. The Highland crowd's up now. They're ready to go. They're pretty loud. As Dahlhog will hand to Molyneux on 1st down, or on 2nd down, and he will pick up about 8, and that will be a Hawks 1st down. As the Hawks finally looking like an open offense. It looks a lot different than what we saw just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Molyneux, career game against Saguaro, and Molyneux has really shown this year and has really cemented himself as the RB1 in this offense.
As the Hawks have 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Anthony Martin to Dahlhog's right as he will hand to Cruz Colomar on the jet sweep. And just like the first time, it will not go anywhere. A gain of about 1 for Cruz.
Yeah, I feel like that play needs more designs. I think Colmore can really be elusive on the outside edge, so you just got to get him there. And I think this defense has done a good job of really understanding the play call here of this Highland offense.
I mean, Colomore's a little bit of an undersized guy for his position, and if you're going to have an undersized guy, you got to get him outside. Either that or he's going to run, and it looks like Castile actually jumped a little bit early, and that will be a free 5 yards for the Hawks.
Yeah, I feel like Castile's been kind of jumping a little bit on these last plays. Highland wanted to call on the last snap before the Molyneux run, but they didn't get it. This time they do get it, so I feel like Castile's a little bit antsy right now on the defensive line.
Yeah, Graver jumping, just trying to get a little bit early. The Hawks offense looks significantly better with this new quarterback as Dahlhog hands to Molyneux, and he will be met in the backfield, and we'll lose about a yard, and it'll bring up 3rd and manageable for the Hawks. 3rd and 4 from midfield. Hawks really needing a conversion here after their defense got a big takeaway.
Yeah, I mentioned that this Highland team looks good and organized, but how can that translate to points? I feel like this is a very crucial 3rd down here to start the game, really setting the tone early. I think setting the tone early is important to a win tonight. And, you know, Highland's offense looks good with the new quarterback play, but we need to see points on the board here if you're Highland.
As Dahlhog will line up, empty backfield set. Cruz Colomore will come in motion as a penalty on the Hawks for a false start. I don't think they had everybody set.
Yeah.
And Highland will lose all 5 of those yards that they got on the offsides back.
Yeah, they got him out of legal formation. I think it was Renneman that was not set. So I think this Highland offense has really ridiculed itself with penalties, and that this year has not been a great start. A lot of the reason because of just kind of wacky penalties.
Yeah, pre-snap penalties are killer. I mean, I've talked to Coach Farrell numerous times throughout the year, and that's the thing he keeps talking about is they can't keep having these pre-snap penalties. It is too late in the season as Dahlhag on third down will throw, and it will be off the hands of his receiver, incomplete. And it looks like the Hawks will be forced to punt again. That pass was intended for Dallas Roner, just off his end. As they get a break here, as roughing the passer is called. Wow. I don't know about that one. I thought that one was a little bit soft, but I'm sure the Hawks will take it, and the Hawks remain on the field. First down, Highland.
Yeah, I feel like Castile took a little bit of a harder hit than that earlier and a more late of a hit earlier and was not called for that. So I find that interesting that they do call it here. But I think that was a good idea of a route there from Roner, that kind of curl route on the outside. He was one-on-one, so that will work most of the time. So it was a good idea, just couldn't come up with it, but they do get a free play here with the roughing the passer.
As Dahlhag will line up under center on first down as they will fake the jet sweep to Collimore, and he will throw a deep ball to Anthony Martin, and it is almost intercepted, but falls to the ground, incomplete. Martin trying to take the top off the defense, but Castile doing a good job playing cover one and having him.
Yeah, good double coverage by Castile's defense. I think it was a pretty decent ball there. I think Anthony Martin had a chance of getting to it, but just good defense overall. We've seen the deep shot to Martin once, and I think we'll see it a lot more tonight. But I think this is a big drive here to really cement some points on the board.
As Dahlhag will run the play action on the first down, dump it off to Collimore, and will not be able to make anyone miss. He'll gain about a yard. And once again, Highland find themselves in third and long in this first quarter. It's the third time so far.
Yeah, I think this Highland defense, this Highland offense, excuse me, has really kind of got it more open. Have used more of the field more often. And I think that play didn't work out as much, but I think Collimore, if he can get free, he can go everywhere, and that was shown last week. So we'll see if they can get him some more creative play calling.
As on 3rd and 8, Dahlhag will take the snap, throws over the middle, and too high for Anthony Martin, and it will fall incomplete. Dahlhag a little bit high, a couple times, cannot seem to connect with Anthony Martin, as it will bring up 4th and 8, but it looks like Highland might consider going for it, and they will not consider going for it.
Yeah, Dahlhag, I don't think let Anthony Martin's route develop enough. I don't think Anthony Martin was ready to make that play. He was kind of running that in route across the middle of the field, which was the right idea, but I just the first game jitters here, I think, to start out here, just kind of missed up on the throw. We'll see if Grady Crandall can really down this punt here. Good territory.
And a little bit better of a drive for the Hawks, but still comes with nothing as Crandall will punt a nice low punt, and that looks like it will be perfection all the way to the 1 yard line. What a punt by Grady Crandall. What a job by this Highland coverage team, as the Colts are backed up to their 1 yard line. Wow, great special teams for Hawks. After a slow start on special teams, giving up that long punt return on the last one.
Yeah, what a punt. The Highland was ready for it, too. I think it was an excellent punt by Crandall, and kind of landing at the 10 and letting it bounce. But, I think this Highland return team being already ready to be there, I think it just kind of signifies, how ready they are for this game. And, kind of a must-win here for your Highland Hawks, as Castile gets back out there and gets ready.
As with 53 seconds left in this first quarter, the Castile has the ball on their own 3 yard line. Smith takes the snap from his own end zone, or will take the snap from his own end zone, and will hand off. And he will not get anywhere. We'll get to about back to about the 2 yard line. We'll get out of the end zone, but just barely. I mean, Highland all over that, really seeing that one coming on that stretch play.
Yeah, the first wave almost got to them for the safety. You could hear the crowd kind of exclaiming on that. But I think the second wave I've been mentioning all night has just been really good. All the linebackers seem to be very consistent on where they are on the field, and I think this play calling on defense by Rudder has been primarily efficient.
As Smith on 2nd and 10 will roll out to his right and will throw out to the sideline, and it will be caught for a first down. I mean, T. Smith seems to be really comfortable on the move, and the Hawks can't really seem to stop him.
Yeah, Brody Smith on the catch there, but if you're going to move right on the last play, why not just do the opposite and move left? Nice play call there. Brody Smith was wide open on the curl. They didn't protect the outside well on that play and just kind of misdirection there.
As on the final play of this first quarter, Smith will hand off, and the Hawks defense is all over it, stopping them for no game, and that will wrap up this first quarter of play on a windy night here in Queen Creek. We will have you on the other side of the second quarter as the Castile Coats 7, Hawks nothing. As we are welcoming you back to the action, Highland trailing 7-0, but honestly, I think they looked quite good in that first quarter. Dawhog just looks a little bit off on some of the best. They honestly look a lot, reminds me a lot of the Arizona State offense, just needing to get the quarterback into a rhythm. He's kind of similar to Sam Levitt in that way, more of a rhythm quarterback. And once they get Dawhog in the rhythm, Highland offense will be, and their defense once again looks still the same dominant defense, coming overway with the takeaway. Cole Allen, as it is 2nd and 10 from the 21 to kick off this second quarter, as Smith will fake the handoff, roll out again to his right, throws other middle, and it is incomplete. Oh, it's caught. On the deflection, it is caught. What a catch off the deflection.
I didn't even see that receiver there from our booth, but I thought that was excellent coverage, but just nice readiness from Castile there. You could argue that Highland was maybe the better team in the first quarter, but that's not going to win you the game. The points will. And I think this, Highland defense really just needs to get going here.
Yeah, Troy Howdege, what a catch. And Deshaun Johnson had great defense, as on 1st and 10 will throw over the middle, and it is complete to Howdege for a big gain of about 30 yards and a first down for Castile. Castile's really first big chunk play, not on a penalty.
I don't know why I saw number 2 and slant route and saw Emeka Ibuka, but I did. And I think that's something that he could be used for in that term of just kind of that speedy wide receiver that can really get open in the middle of the field. If Highland runs zone coverage, and I believe they ran a motion on that play, and defender didn't move. So I think that initiates the zone coverage, and, they're able to get Emeka Ibuka Jr. on the catch there.
As Highland will take a timeout, not liking what they're seeing on those last 2 plays. Emeka Ibuka, what a story. He's been in Tampa Bay. Great player. He's been great for my fantasy team. I'm sure he's been great for your fantasy team if you have him.
My fantasy team loves him.
If you have him, I mean, Ibuka's been great. And it's the same thing you're seeing from Troy Howdege. It's his second impact play of this game so far. Third, actually, had the punt return, had the deflected catch, and now a 30-yard catch over the middle. Highlands can't seem to keep this guy away from the football, and that's what good players do. Good players have the football in their hand. Yeah, as Howdege's just all over this Hawks defense so far.
Yeah, well, as a man, when you look through the eyes of fantasy football, it tells you a lot of different things, and I think that he could really run those in routes, and I think this Highland defense has had trouble against that this year, and Castile's offense is really seeing through it. So I'll praise the play calling here for this Castile offense.
And
so
for
far.
all of you those at home, this is not a sign to gamble. Please do not comment that in our comment section, as it is 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. T. Smith takes the snap, throws a slant route, and it is complete to Howdege again, and he makes another man miss. Highland can't stop it. Another RPO. Howdege, or it's Brody Smith on the catch, not Howdege, but still a Hawks defense. It's the similar play that RPO is really killing this defense so far.
Yeah, Brody Smith has a couple of catches tonight. He's looked pretty solid as well. Just kind of that middle receiver as well. And I think this deep coverage just kind of needs to be more brought in. But be careful on that because they've taken a couple of deep shots tonight as well.
As Castile is now in the Hawks red zone, 1st and 10 from the 17. Smith takes snap, rolls to his left. It'll be a direct snap, and will make one man miss, but can't get much more. Gains about 3 yards, and that will bring up 2nd and 5 yards.
I feel like this script has been played many times here from this Castile offense of T. Smith, kind of just either going right or left on a signified quarterback run. And T. Smith is athletic enough to do it, and we'll see if Castile's offensive line can really show some holes for him.
As it looks like some movement, and the Hawks are offsides, and it'll be a free 1st down for Castile. Another pre-snap penalty for the Hawks. This one on the defensive side. But penalties have been a real killer today.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Farrell has kind of becoming tireless of these penalties here. Primarily these pre-snap penalties. As Highland, I'm sure, is top 10 in the state in that category.
Bottom 10 if you want to look at it from a negative perspective, but top 10 in negative penalty yards. That is not what you want from your team. As T. Smith will have 1st, 2nd, and 1 now from the 9. It will not be a 1st down. As Smith will take the snap, will fire towards the end zone, and it is knocked away by, it looks like, Grady Crandall on the play. Another time you're going to hear his name all night. Great play from Crandall. I thought it might have been able to be intercepted.
Yeah, that was great coverage there from Highland. I just just one-on-one. You never normally see that in in high school football, not be a completion. But that was a really good, just kind of one-on-one defense. You taught that earlier on. That was J.J. Irby Bell on the defense there. So kudos to him on that play.
Yeah, Bell makes his first impact play of the game as it's 3rd and 1 now. As Smith will take the snap, and it will pick up the 1st down pretty easily, all the way to the 5-yard line, and brings up 1st and goal for Castile. I mean, Smith, just with that elusiveness and his ability to throw the football, Highland has to respect that and was not able to stack the box as they would against the quarterback who could only run the ball. So Castile's offense really sets T. Smith up for success.
Yeah, Castile's been in the red zone multiple times here in this game, and Highland has not cracked the 20-yard line here to start out. So just Castile's looking like the better team here so far.
As Smith's pass intended in the end zone, broken up by Irby Bell, incomplete.
You can argue on that play that Smith should have gone to the underneath receiver, as 2 players in zone coverage were on the kind of farther receiver in the back of the end zone. But I like the idea of zone coverage here to start out, just kind of fill in the end zone with defenders. But set a player in motion, they didn't move at all, the Highland defense, so it's just kind of a clear indicator sometimes of zone coverage.
And that brings up 2nd and 4, 2nd and goal from the 4. T. Smith with the play clock running down. Will take the snap, will roll to his right, and look back across the field, and he had a receiver open that was how to get in the end zone, but it will fall incomplete.
Yeah, Brody Smith on the target there. He just kind of was all busy in the backfield, and he couldn't really find anybody in the back of the end zone. So I think the best thing to do was kind of throw it away there, and I think that was his intention on the pass. Big 3rd down coming up.
Big 3rd down for the Hawks, needing to get off the field here and at least hold Castile to 3 points, as the Hawks offense still hasn't quite gotten it going. And what a drive so far from Castile, starting on their own 3-yard line and driving all the way to the red zone, as Castile will take a timeout, their 2nd of the half. As we're going to take a quick step aside, and we'll come back to you at the end of the timeout. As coming out of this timeout, it will be 3rd down and goal for Castile. T. Smith taking the snap. Momentarily, Highland showing blitz once again as Smith fires towards the end zone, and it is intercepted again. A second red zone turnover for the Hawks. What a play. J.J. Irby Bell with the interception as the Hawks keep Castile out of the end zone once again.
Biggest play of the game so far here for Highland on either side of the ball. J.J. Irby Bell really cementing himself in one-on-one coverage here. In this possession, Highland had 2 defenders against 1 receiver on the right side, so it was already determined that that ball was going to go on the left side either way or another. And Highland was 100% prepared for that, and J.J. Irby Bell capitalizing on the interception there. Their 2nd of the game.
Wow, what a play by Irby Bell. Coming up with the big play as the Hawks offense now needing to reward this defense who has come up with 2 humongous turnovers in the red zone, as Dahlhog will try and get this offense finally going. I look at Anthony Martin once again. Seems to be his favorite target so far, just hasn't been able to get the rhythm, as another pre-snap penalty for the Hawks will set them back 5 yards. You cannot have 2 guys in motion at once. That is not allowed in football. Ever, in any level of football, actually. Yeah. That's not allowed. I don't think that one's allowed, and both guys were in set. You had Cruz Colomar in motion, and you had Cayman Molyneux in motion, and that will not be allowed as Hawks will make some subs here. Boston Reneman out of the game. Max Brown into the game. Yeah. As it's more of a passing down distance anyway.
Called out before the play that Anthony Martin was one-on-one with 0 safety. I think it's kind of happening on this play too. We'll see if the safety moves over to him.
As Castile showing blitz now, Dahlhog will take the snap, throw over the middle, and just cannot find his receiver.
A little late on the throw to Crew Crandall there, just kind of rushed on that throw there. I think a problem with Peyton so far is that he's just kind of not taking his time with his throws, and it seems like the offensive line is giving him enough time to kind of gauge everything he has. So just look to see a little bit more just comfortability in the first start. Can't blame him, just kind of for first start jitters.
And on 2nd and 15, Dahlhog takes the snap, will fake the handoff to Molyneux, and will take a huge hit, and will just throw it out of bounds. Crew Crandall, the nearest receiver in the area, but that one just likes to be thrown away as Dahlhog took a big hit. You did not want your new quarterback taking big hits like that early in the game.
Yeah, we've seen big hits from both sides on the quarterback, so just hope these quarterbacks can make it out of the game okay. But 3rd down and 15, you're deep in your own territory. Highland could opt to go more conservative and just kind of gain yards for a punt from Crandall. But I would personally like to see Highland reach for the markers here. You have 2 receivers with 1 DB on the left side, so we'll see if they can attack
on
that.
3rd and 15, 9 minutes to go. Can the Hawks finally reward their offense, as that is a 100% a false start? I mean, we saw that from a mile away. Hawks movement early, and they will get set back again. And it looks like Coach Farrell is furious with yet another pre-snap.
I mean, don't mean to be mean, but I would be too. As a coach, you just never want to see that on your team. Just a bunch of pre-snap penalties. You won't win the game. It's like the turnover battle. I think those are the 2 battles where, like, if you have less of those, it's more likely than not that you lost the game.
As Dahlhog on 3rd and 20 now will not be able to get away from the pressure. He is sacked, and the Castile defense ends Highland's drive. Highland goes 3 and out once again. The offense just can't seem to get it going.
Yeah, the momentum meter has kind of been slowly moving here throughout the game for Castile. And, again, a big part of that right there after the interception. Nice job here by Castile's defense remaining locked down after the interception. And they'll have pretty good field position here, kind of predeterminedly at the 45 or less.
As Crandall will punt from the back of his own end zone, as it is almost blocked. It's a little low as it will be fielded by Howdigi, and he has some room down the right sideline. Howdigi makes one guy miss. There goes Howdigi all the way to the 15-yard line, and the Castile offense has amazing field position to start off the drive.
Yeah, Highland's players on the return there took a big
But there
hit.
is a penalty on the field. Oh my God, roughing the kicker as the Hawks drive will actually be extended, at least by 1 punt. I do not believe there's automatic first downs in high school football.
Let's see. Yeah, they are coming back out there. Grady Crandall's going to go back to the sideline.
The offense will come back.
It's an automatic first. We'll give him 15 yards on the penalty.
It is an automatic first down. There are automatic first downs on some plays in high school football. A new rule actually in the AAA, as last year there were some penalties that did not result in automatic first down. As now the Hawks with a new life, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. What a huge break for the Hawks.
Yeah, huge break there. We'll see what Highland can do, looking a little bit more organized on this drive.
As Dahlhag will hand to Mono, who makes one guy miss, cannot get away from the second, but a big gain of about 8 yards on, or about 5 yards, excuse me, on first down.
Mono's taken some big hits tonight, kind of some loose end tackles as well. Glad to see him kind of remain mentally tough at the running back position. He predeterminedly our RB1 as he is put out of the game along with Colmore.
As the winds really picking up in Queen Creek. I wonder if that'll have any effect on some of the play calling here. 2nd and 4 for the Hawks on the 26. Seem to be taking their time a little bit more on this drive. As Dahlhag will line up in the backfield. Look once again for Anthony Martin to hopefully get involved for Highland, as Dahlhag will take the snap and will look over to Martin's way, but cannot get away from the pressure. Once again, that left side of that Hawks O-line cannot deal with Castile.
Yeah.
And Brady Bass in the backfield for Castile. That Highland O-line cannot seem to stop him so far.
Yeah, just looks like this Highland offensive line is slowly kind of breaking their seams, and Castile's kind of seeing through it. Couple sacks here for this Castile defense, so they're looking more and more better on that defensive line. They've looked good in coverage this game, but I think the defensive line has really shown up for them. As
now a big 3rd down, the Hawks lose all the yards they gained on first down. 3rd and 10 now from the 20-yard line. 6 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Dahlhag takes the snap, will run a screen, and will have Cruz Colomore, who has some room, and he has a lot of room. There goes Cruz Colomore. The Cruz missile all the way down to the 25-yard line. First down, Highland Hawks.
What a big play. He had a blocker in front of him. He just gone left to him. I believe that's a walk-in touchdown. But what a play there from Cruz Colmore. We saw this last week on the 55-yard touchdown and then the 50-yard run that was called back from holding. Cruz Colmore, small but very versatile, and probably the most versatile running back in the backfield. Each running back being used for their specific purpose, and that's kind of the offensive play scheme I think Coach Farrell is aiming for this season, especially for the Highland Hawks.
And finally, they get their skill players involved. Cruz Colmore with his first big play of the game, as the Hawks have first down and 10 from the 30 as he hands to Molino. And Molino has some room down the right sideline, just tripped up. Otherwise, he had some green grass, and will be a first down for Highland at the 20-yard line.
Molino and Colomore looking really good here for this Highland Hawks team. Both of them kind of seeing some more better play calls from Coach Farrell in this offense. We'll see if they can maybe do a surprise air out here on first down.
As Dahlhag on first down will hand to Molino, who will patiently wait and make one guy miss, but cannot spin away from the other. And that will be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, we'll talk about both sides of the ball here. Yorgwawi on the tackle once again. You want to talk about Emeka Ibuka on offense? Let's talk about him on defense. A big hit there, only putting the gain to no gain here on a previously good run from Molino.
As 2nd and 10 now for the Hawks at the 21-yard line. Dahlhag will line up under center with Molino in the backfield. As he'll go play action, as we'll fire towards the end zone, has Brown, and it is incomplete. Great play on the back end for Castile. Good throw from Dahlhag, but just even better defense. Max Brown cannot come up with the catch in the end zone.
That was almost an incredible catch from Max Brown in the end zone. He had a pretty good throw, but just kind of strapped down defense from this Castile defense. They've not been easy to get through. I'll say that for this Castile defense. There are some holes I think Highland will start to notice here but I think Castile's defense has done their part here so far as Highland, I believe, takes timeout.
As Coach Farrell looks to be having some kind of discussion with the officials. Maybe wanted a pass interference on there. I'd have to look at it again, but I think there was definitely some early contact on that pass. He looked to be pulling Max Brown from the back there, and Coach Farrell may have a point, but Hawks will call timeout, and we will come back on the other side of it. As we return, Highland taking their second timeout of the game. Down 7-0, but driving in the red zone now. 3rd and 10 from the 21 after an incomplete pass to Max Brown. The Hawks offense obviously looking a lot better on this drive, but needing to come away with some points as Dahlhog will line up in the shotgun. Cayman Molino to his right. Anthony Martin on the bench on this drive so far. Curious to see if he's dealing with something that's keeping him off the field on the offensive side. As he'll send Cruz Colomar in motion. Will swing it over to Colomar, and he has got some blockers. Cruz Colomar cuts it upfield and will get close to the first down. I think he's going to be marked about a yard short, and that'll bring up 4th down, and I'm willing to bet that the Hawks will keep the offense on the field here.
Yeah, I just saw Max Brown signal that they are going to go for it. Nice awareness there from Colomar. They realized that the left side was kind of blank for more running, so that blocker ahead of him, he kind of went to the right of him and just cut in. So just nice awareness from Colomar. We've seen a couple for that in this game here, but pivotal 4th down here in the first half coming up.
As on 4th and 1 from the 7, the biggest play of this game so far, or from the 12, excuse me. Dahlhog will line up under center. And Hawks will call their final time out of the half. Not liking what they're saying. They're going to talk this one over.
Yeah, if you're Highland, you still go for it here on 4th down. I think really.
I think they're going to kick the field goal, it looks like.
Let's see. Kane Leonard is practicing, so maybe they do. But we'll see if Farrell will call a 4th down play call here.
Yeah, and Leonard's had some struggles early in this season. Missed an extra point in the last game against Sorrel. Also missed a couple of field goals against Liberty, hoping to get himself back on track.
Yeah, Kane Leonard kind of looking kind of inconsistent this year. Hope for better times here in the kicking realm here for Highland here to start out. But talking about this 4th and 1 play call, this Highland team has looked a lot more comfortable on this drive. Their running game has looked primarily the biggest strong point in this offense, and this Highland offense can really cement themselves in the running game. This Highland offense, in that 3-man backfield, will emphasize that all night. This 3-man backfield has their own specific purpose that can be united into one. And this Highland offense has done a very good job of kind of implementing that into this game here. And they are going to kick the field goal here, 7-3 here. You hear some
of the Hawks and the Hawks fans are not happy with the decision. The Hawks electing to just try to attempt to take the points. As it seems on the sideline, some of the Hawks offensive players also not happy with the decision. But Coach Farrell trying to get himself on the board as Leonard's kick is up. And it is through the uprights. It is good. The Hawks find themselves on the board. Now down 7-3 with 4 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Now, I might have gone for that there personally. But what about you, Caden? What do you think?
I think the story of that, if you're going to go for it, how bad do you want it? How bad do you feel for the loss last year in your home territory, in the 6A playoffs, 24-0 comeback? How do you feel about that enough to kick the field goal here? I think this Highland team, it was distraught last year, evidently, after that loss. Being on the field after that loss last year kind of felt demoralizing on the field. And it's a question of how bad do you want it? Do you want a revenge win against Castile? And obviously the message here is yes. But you also do want to emphasize that you need to be aggressive. You need to really put a statement into Castile that Highland's not here to mess around, and Castile's win last year is something that Highland's not going to let happen again. And I think putting 3 on the board just is something that I think kind of diverts that message a little bit instead of going for it on a 4th down and 1 in really good field position. It's a question of how distraught is Highland's team of that 6A loss last year to this very same team on their home floor.
Yeah, that was a rough one to watch from the perspective of the Hawks. Obviously, Castile, what a comeback last season, as Crandall will kick it off here, as it will be received by Howdigi. And Howdigi has got the room. And we'll get all the way up to about the 32-yard line pushing.
Nice little push there from Highland here. I think some fans here, and I think some of Highland's team here, you can see on the sideline, wanted to hold on that return there. I think some of us were seeing that up here. And this Highland offense.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten away with one a little bit there. There was about holding at the 10-yard line. But obviously the officials disagree, as Highland will have, or Castile, excuse me, will have first in a long drive for the Hawks there.
Yeah, you see T. Smith there. 4 minutes, 14 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. You probably should see some design runs here for T. Smith. You still have time on the clock.
As Smith on 1st and 10 from the 32. Takes that ball, roll to his left, which you've seen him do all game long. And he will get away for just a second and will get for about 4 yards.
Yeah, almost threw the ball there. Past the line of scrimmage probably would have been a little bit costly here for this offense. But nice little run there for T. Smith, kind of gauging that pocket and being able to kind of cut around there. Gain of 6 there. So pretty solid outcome here for T. Smith, as Highland has some late substitutions coming off the field. T. Smith looking pretty solid here tonight.
And 2nd and 4 for Castile from the 38-yard line. As Smith takes the snap, will hand off. And Castile's first real good run of the game will get themselves a first down. Rodriguez on the stop, but it's a little late, and Castile will get their first down.
Yeah, if you're Highland's defense, you really don't want them. If they get a touchdown on this drive, I think that's a bit of a big momentum shift here for Highland. If you're Highland right now, do anything besides give up a touchdown on this probably your last drive.
As Smith will throw over the middle, and it will be caught. A great catch.
Yeah, Brody Smith on the catch there. Once again, he's been kind of that good flat receiver as the clock continues to run here. Less than 3 minutes to go now. This Highland defense has kind of looked kind of laid back, I would say, on this drive. And now you kind of need to really cement yourselves here in this next couple plays here.
As Smith did not pick up the first down. It will be 2nd and 1. As Smith this time will complete over the middle and will pick up the first down. But there is a flag on the field.
I think they're going to get 54 for a hold.
It looked like a hold on Castile. Yep, and it will be a hold on the Colts, as Castile, with a costly penalty after picking up a first down there, will bring up a 2nd and long now.
Yeah, Colton Winters has been a topic of discussion for the offensive line tonight for Castile. Kind of the first big mistake I've seen from him tonight. That hold, I think, is one of the biggest parts of this game so far. Now you have 2nd down and about 11 here for Castile from their own territory. I think that's a big break for Highland here with a limited time clock, as that clock will continue to run here. So this Castile offense now has a lot less time to work with more field to play.
As that'll bring up 2nd. They lose 10 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. T. Smith in the backfield as the Hawks have some pressure on him, as he's gets away from the first one, and Smith has some room to run. Will chuck it all the way downfield, and how's Howdigi all the way for the touchdown, Castile Colts. What a throw by T. Smith. Escapes the pressure, finds Howdigi, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown, Castile.
One thing you don't want to do as a defense, become more inside and middle of the field on plays that are extended. You can't let a deep receiver get open on plays that are longer than 5 seconds. And costly mistake for this Highland defense, big momentum shift. And now we look at ourselves in a 14-3 game here where Highland has a feeling that they have to score on this next drive here to end the first half. Here, big play.
But what a throw by T. Smith as the extra point is blocked. And there will be no return. There is no chance for our favorite play. The 1-point safety will not happen here today. But blocks and the extra point. And that is huge for the Hawks. That keeps them within a field goal, a touchdown, and an extra point. Not an 8-point game. 8 points is very different than 7, as we will get you on the other side of this commercial break. As Castile, what a drive by Castile. What a throw by T. Smith. Castile leading 13-3 late in this first half, as the kick will look like it may fall out of bounds, and it will. That will be a kickoff out of bounds. The Hawks will have good starting field position, needing to score on this drive to keep themselves within a score going into the half.
Yeah, that was an interesting kick. I think that kick looked more like my 9-iron shot as a lefty. I think seeing kind of
that's more my 7-iron personally. Yeah. I'm shaking that one. Actually, probably going farther
like
left
yards.
To be honest with you. But none of the audience wants to hear about our golf swings. They want to hear about football. And so, what does Highland need to do on this drive to find themselves in the end zone, or at least into field goal range?
You need to utilize your Max Browns. You need to utilize your Anthony Martins to get a big play, to get going. You can run the ball here. I would not rule out that possibility, and I think that's a good idea. But
as the snap comes in quickly to Dahlhag, and he will complete the pass. That's Cruz Colmar on the catch. Snap came in real quick. I don't think Dahlhag expected that one.
He did not, but I liked the route there. That's kind of the first time we've seen Colmar make some type of play without him being in motion before that play. So heck of a play call there. I think Colmar can really be leveraged on that outside edge.
As Dahlhag's pass is to the sideline, what a catch! What a grab! Dallas Roner making up for that drop he had in the first quarter. Wow. In a tight space on the sideline, comes up with the catch, and 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
What a catch. Like, that really does make up for that drop earlier. And, the drop had a penalty with it. So, hey, it didn't count. Dallas Roner, what a layout grab there.
As on 1st and 10, Dahlhag will step over the middle, will complete to Anthony Martin, and Martin's got some room to run. Over to the left side, takes a big hit, and the ball is out, but he's being ruled down by contact. Yeah. As the Hawks have another first down at the Castile 23-yard line.
They're gonna run.
As the Hawks going quick, Dahlhag will spike the ball with 1:13 left. Oh, the Hawks out of timeouts makes sense. Yeah. That's what happens when you have to use your timeout early, especially with some of those pre-snap penalties.
I do want to mention something in the Highland game that is going to be affected here as rain does start to come down here. This is kind of your lost opportunity. I think there's going to be some bands of rain showers here coming to the game here later in the second half. So you just kind of got to make sure your run game is in check here, maybe on this drive as well.
As Dahlhag on first down will complete over the middle. That's Dallas Roner. Makes one man miss. Will make another and will be close to picking up another first down for Highland. And he will pick up a first down. 1st and 10 Hawks at the 13. This offense is rolling.
Yeah, Roner really proving himself on this drive. Student section likes that Roner's getting the targets. And, I agree. He's made some pretty good plays here in this drive.
as Dahlhag takes the snap, throws over the middle, complete to Max Brown, and he walks his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And for the first time this season, I can say it, for the touchdown, Highland Hawks.
As Max Brown, we could also say for the first time this season, Max Brown touchdown here for the Highland Hawks. We have not seen him really be able to use his full potential to get going, but as I said at the end of the last Castile drive that ended in a score, Highland has a touchdown on the board now. That makes it a big, big momentum shift. And again, it seemed like they wanted it on
the Hawks are right back in it, right where they want to do. What a drive by Highland, walking their way down the field. As Leonard's extra point is blocked. It is blocked, but there is a penalty on the field. That's the second time. That's the second kick Leonard's had blocked in the last 4 weeks. A little bit interesting.
Oh, wow.
But it seems like that might be a penalty on Castile. He might get a do-over on that one.
We'll see here. Kind of low kick there. Kind of interesting.
Looks like they're calling leverage on Castile, a personal foul. You've seen that call in the NFL a couple times and in college, and it looks like they're going for 2.
They're going for 2. Get the offense back out there. All these players are excited to get back out there. So is the student section. These players are ready to go. So and you talk about how bad you want it against a now rival here in a kind of bittersweet loss last year. This really shows it. So,
as it looks like they're lining up for the tush push for Dahlhag. I wonder how many. And there's a pre-snap penalty, and they're calling something on Highland. Offside? And it looks like the extra. They will go kick. They will go kick the extra point. As Coach Farrell is furious.
I think just one of them didn't line up on the right side of the neutral zone. So I think now you kick that extra point. If you're Caden Leonard, you're getting that do-over. So this is pretty big here on the extra point.
Coach Farrell not super thrilled with the official there. It seems like he was having a nice conversation with him. They were really just getting along, just catching up a little bit. As Caden Leonard will be on to try an extra point again after having his first attempt blocked, but with the penalty. As the extra point is up this time, and it's no good. He missed it wide to the left. No good, as the Hawks miss another opportunity. As Castile missed the extra point, Highland misses an extra point right back. As it's 13-9, Castile Colts.
I don't think missing 2 extra points was on Coach Farrell's play card there. But, you know, maybe we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt here as the rain starts to come down here at the stadium. Maybe a botched snap there on the play here. As the rain is starting to come down here, you can see kind of some people in the crowd starting to get their umbrellas out here. As the rain is becoming more of a factor here in the game.
Rain is definitely becoming more of a factor, as we will take a step aside really quick, and we will be right back. As we welcome you back, the Hawks scoring their first offensive touchdown, as it's 13-9 with 45 seconds left in this first half, as Crandall will kick it away, received by Troy Howdeke in the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, this Highland offense, the rain's really starting to come down here. It's kind of the most I've seen the rain come down all night long, and now we see this Highland offense, this Highland defense get back on the field. I think with 45 seconds on the clock here, if you're Castile, this rain's starting to fall. In at the 25, you just kind of start to, kind of wrap things up here and go.
Yeah, especially losing the turnover battle 2-0 for Castile.
Yeah, that could be bad.
You wonder if that plays into their decision here on what they want to do with 45 seconds and only one timeout from their own 20-yard line. As T. Smith will take the snap and will just hand it off. But we'll have some running room and we'll gain about 8 yards on first down.
Yeah, as I predicted, the rain starting to fall here. Just kind of cementing that this half will probably end in a couple runs here. I think Castile's playing smart conservative football here to end the half.
They're running a little bit quickly with 30 seconds left. T. Smith will take the snap and will throw it to the outside and will complete it and then he will get out of bounds, and that will stop the clock with 20 seconds left at the 35-yard line. Castillo maybe setting himself up for a Hail Mary attempt.
Eric Avila on the catch there. Nice job of being kind of smart there and going out of bounds here. But this rain is, again, really starting to go down. We'll see if he can get the Hail Mary throw.
As T. Smith will roll to his left and will fire and will bounce it in there. But it will be caught, but he will remain inbounds.
That was incomplete.
And Castillo will use their final timeout with 12 seconds on. What a catch. What great concentration to come up with that.
From up here, that was on the ground.
That one was bouncing there, but
I was incomplete in my opinion. The throw didn't even make it there, but I mean, whatever the refs see is what the game will go to, and that's I don't know. From here, that did not look like a catch. However, Castillo still has that long shot here. 12 seconds left on the clock. Castillo uses that timeout here. You're at the 41. I think if you're Castillo, you can get one more play off. With 0 timeouts. If you're Castillo, you get one play out of bounds and then go for that Hail Mary.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen on that touchdown pass, T. Smith has an arm that can get it there. And with 12 seconds left, Smith will take the snap, throws quickly to the sideline. And that is exactly what Castillo was looking for, complete to Avila. And they may have time for another quick pass out of bounds to get themselves into long field goal range if they really want to.
Yeah, they could. 9 seconds is a bit more time to kind of get a fast running play there to get out of bounds again. But if you're Highland's defense, I think you're kind of ready for that. So we'll see if Highland's defense
as Smith will fire outside again to Avila, and a nice, easy, quick pass.
That's happened a couple plays in a row now, and I think felt kind of effortless on that play there that they got it out of bounds. And now is when you take that Hail Mary shot.
I mean, the last play only lasted 3 seconds. I mean, if they can do that one more time, they set themselves up for a possible field goal attempt.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, they've really moved up the field. They're at the 40 now.
And with 6 seconds left, T. Smith will take the snap, and they will run the exact same play, and this time it will be deflected at the line of scrimmage, over the head, incomplete, but that one only takes 3 seconds, and still sets themselves up with time for a Hail Mary attempt. So one more play to end the first half for the Hawks.
Yeah, Castillo was one good throw away from a long field goal attempt there. That's again, the same play here with 3 seconds. I think it's clear as day that everyone's going to get someone's going to get the Hail Mary here.
As with 3 seconds, Smith will roll out and will heave it towards the end zone. And it will be intercepted by Grady Crandall.
Of course it is.
The third interception of the day for the Hawks. And the Hawks go into the half, trailing 9-13. But I would say the story of this first half is the Hawks offense finally seems to have gotten it going, and 3 turnovers for the defense. Can Highland come back in the second half? We will let you know after halftime.